strive to be the best Catholic educated community we could be, and his intrusions. And you turn your phone on and you look at the social media there and you're getting distracted. You see, I'm convinced the world is a battle between angels and demons. It's a battle every day. Demons? You know what demons are? You don't see them. You don't know it. A demon's attacking you right now. You know what he's doing? He's telling you right now, don't listen, don't focus. When are we getting out of here? How long is he going to talk? Geez, I want to watch that TV show tonight. That's a demon. See, Satan doesn't like the fact that we're here talking about things that are going to make us stronger in the battle against him. That's what coaches do. They make their people stronger. They make their team stronger. And we got to get stronger. When I started my coaching career at Davidson College, my son Matt, who's our oldest boy, he's your age. He's got to be 8th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade. And on game day, I live right across the street from the campus. I would come home on game day and go and sequester myself in my den and study my notes. I got to get ready for this game. I'm so consumed with preparation for this game. And there's little Matt on the back court shooting the ball in the driveway, shooting. Here he is, something that I was good at, teaching how to play basketball, and I completely disregarded him, completely neglected him, so I could go study and prepare to play a game. You see, the demon was striking me. And right up here on this pulpit, right here, we used to have a priest here in St. Therese Parish named Father Ernie Novotny, and he gave a sermon one time about Micah 6. Act justly, love tenderly, and walk humbly with your God. And I read a book by Notre Dame's football coach back in the 80s named Lou Holtz, and I adapted what Ernie Novotny said about Micah 6 to what Lou Holtz said about championship football at Notre Dame, and adopted 3 simple words: trust, commitment, and care. And if you've ever been close to Stephen Curry or ever seen a close-up picture of him, he's got a TCC, Trust, Commitment, Care tattoo. His only tattoo at Davidson College was in small TCC letters right there on his left wrist. Trust, Commitment, Care. 3 simple words that you as parents better coach your kids about, and you as kids better adapt and adopt and become a part of your fiber. Trust. Why didn't I work with my son? Why didn't I work with you? You know why? Because I didn't trust. I didn't trust that the best thing for me to do was to help him become a better basketball player. Instead, I'm focused on something else. Consumed by winning basketball games. Absolutely consumed by it. And I neglected him. And only after hearing what Ernie Novotny said, reading what Lou Holtz said, did I start to trust. I trusted that if I spent time with him, it doesn't matter. I'll still be guided, still be intelligent, still be good enough to coach my team without sequestering myself in the den each day before the game. Trust. Stephen Curry. In his first game, I was asked the other day, by the way, this film, Underrated, is a terrific film, documentary on Apple TV+. But I was asked the other day by Jay Billis. I did an interview with Jay Billis, the very famous sportscaster and Duke alum. And Jay said to me, did Steph ever do anything wrong? Well, in his first game as a basketball player for Davidson College, he had a double-double. And if any of you guys know what a double-double is, that's usually a good thing. But Stephen had 15 points and 13 turnovers. That's not a good thing. 13 turnovers means he gave the ball to the other team 13 times. Anyone who knows anything about basketball, oh geez, double-double, 15-13, wow, that's incredible. But that was Steph's first game. And I trusted Steph. I gave him a scholarship. I put him in the starting lineup. And then he had this miserable first game against Eastern Michigan, up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the University of Michigan tournament. He was awful. Giving it to the other team, bouncing it off his foot, dribbling it out of bounds. He was awful. And as a coaching staff, you got to say to yourself, geez, you got this freshman Steph Curry, 13 turnovers. Do we keep him in the starting lineup? We did. We kept him in the starting lineup because of trust. And Steph took that trust and he embraced it. Steph took the trust and said, man, coaches believe in me. Mom and Dad believe in me. I'm going to believe in them and what they say. Next game, we played Michigan. On their home court in Ann Arbor, Stephen had 32 points. Trust. It's incredible what you can do when you use trust in your life. The greatest casualty of our generation right now is the lack of trust. When Robert Shapiro says on national TV, ask the question, really, what is the truth that happened at that night with OJ? And this man says on national TV, it's not my job to deal with the truth. That tells you about our culture today. And that's the difficult time that you're growing up in with social media and a complete erosion of truth. That's where you need to get your parents coaching you about it. Get them to coach you about what is truth. You know, Stephen Curry is very famous for three-pointers, correct? If you know anything about him, he's got the record. The history books got filled with his name about it. He shoots 45% from 3 points. About 50, half the time he makes it. But you know what? He shoots 70% with layups, shots at the rim, and he shoots 90% foul shots, free throws. You ever see a highlight of Steph shooting a free throw on ESPN, on SportsCenter? Of course not. It's not all about pizzazz. But the three-pointers, a lot of pizzazz, a lot of style. But it's the substance, the layup and the free throw, that's the substance. And because Stephen shoots 90 and 70 with those two shots, it means he must trust. He trusts that they're valuable. There's an advantage to making that. And he certainly has showed it. Last week I was in San Francisco working at Stephen Curry's camp. He holds his camp for the 12 best high school players, boys, 12 best high school players, girls in San Francisco. He brings them all in, treats them like very, very well, but teaches them about life. I'm forever learning about this guy, Stephen Curry. Camp started at 8 a.m. last Friday. A week ago Sunday, Stephen and Aisha, his wife, were celebrating their wedding anniversary. They were in Greece. Steph is in Greece and he calls the people who are running the camp and he says, you know, we're having such a great time here. You think maybe we can stay an extra day? And you know what? The people that are running the camp said, Steph, you're committed to being here. So Steph left Greece Thursday, gets into San Francisco 4 a.m. on Friday morning, was at the basketball camp at 8 a.m. that morning when it started. You talk about commitment, being there when you need it. Mom, Dad, are you there when your children need you? Or are you so consumed with what you're doing as a mom and dad of your job? Are you there when your children need you? Commitment. And that's just not one story about Stephen Curry. Very few people know this, but when Stephen Curry signed to become a scholarship player at Davidson College in 2005, he signed in November of 2005. In December, two schools tried to steal him. University of Georgia and Clemson University tried to steal Stephen Curry from Davidson College before he even came to Davidson College. Sonia Curry, the mom, no, he made a commitment and he is going to honor his commitment. Foundation, incredible. If you know anything about Curry, last August, he graduated from Davidson College. He left 3 years after his appearance at Davidson to join the NBA. Signed early, multi-million-dollar contract. He makes more money than you can imagine right now. He's a millionaire 10 times, 15, 20 times over. But at the banquet that year, his junior year, he said to our fans, he said to his mother and his father and to our coaching staff, I will graduate from Davidson College. That was 2009. In 2022, he was awarded his diploma because he graduated from Davidson College, honoring his commitment. Commitment. It took a long time, but he honored his commitment. What do you think that piece of paper did for him? Do you think that piece of paper with a diploma did anything for him? Is it going to make him more money? He makes $100,000 a year, $100 million a year just from Under Armour. $100 million just from Under Armour. I think he's getting, 65 or 70 from the Golden State Warriors, so $170 million a year, not bad, huh? What do you think that paper's going to do for him? What do you think is that paper going to make him any better? Yes, it is, because it's honoring a commitment. And if you watch the movie Underrated, there's a scene in the movie Underrated where he's doing his homework. A 33, 34-year-old man doing his college homework, multi-millionaire doing his homework, and to his left is Riley, and to his right is Ryan, his two daughters, doing their homework. How about that? Commitment? Absolutely extraordinary. So trust, so commit. We need you parents to do that. We need you guys, gals to do that. But then we've got to also care. You know, I love my son when I walk into the driveway and see him there shooting hoops. I loved him, but I'd go into the den and sequester myself with my notes. I didn't show that I loved him. And then when I understood what I was missing and I started working with him, I showed my care for him. Guess what? I would walk over to the gym after working out with him for the game, and I was relaxed as can be. And I'd walk into the locker room, and the players would say, man, Coach must think we're going to win. He's really relaxed tonight. Instead of me walking in after looking at my notes and walking over to the court like this each night, now I was relaxed. I helped my son. And I helped myself. And that's one of the greatest lessons of life. When you help somebody, you help yourself. And that's a two-way street. You can help them, but you can help her. That process is not just one way. That's a two-way street. When you help somebody, you help yourself. Trust, commit, and care. I want to mention two other things about Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry preaches the gospel at all times, but only uses words when necessary. He does it because of the way he lives his life. And when he used words, and Jay Billis asked me this question, does Steph have to do anything wrong? You know what I said? Yeah, he throws his mouthpiece. And anyone that's seen any of his games, in all the years in the NBA, 13 years, he wears a mouthpiece. He threw it 2 times because he was so outraged about what was happening that he could no longer just use words. He was outraged because against the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2017, Bella Badover and all those LeBron James were all insulting Stephen's wife, Aisha, as they guarded him. Because she went to Twitter and said something about the way the referees were not calling it really close and letting their referee, Cleveland, beat up her husband. LeBron James is going to Steph. Let your wife going to protect him? What do you think? Bella Badover's guarding him. Hey, why don't you call your wife? Maybe she can help you. He threw his mouthpiece. Second time he threw it was this past year. He had one player on his team who just refused to pass the basketball. Very selfish. Guy named Jordan Poole. And he just got so frustrated, he threw his mouthpiece. Preach the gospel at all times, but only use words when necessary. When Stephen sees things, that's his greatest asset, his eyes. When he sees things on a basketball court, he knows not just where the ball is, he knows where it's going to be. But his eyes are powerful. They are not just eyes of the head, they're also eyes of the heart. And if I could suggest 2 things to you guys, make sure you have the eyes of the heart as well as the eyes of the head. And preach the gospel at all times, but only use words when necessary. You've been extraordinary. It's hot in here. I see you waving the fans. You've been extraordinary with your attention to me. Thank you for that gift. That's probably the greatest gift you can give. I was asked after I retired, if you had to live your life over again, what would you do? You know what I said? I would use the gifts of time and love more than I used it in my life. Time and love. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. I was so consumed, I told you about the way I dealt with our son. I was so consumed, I gave him no time. None. I had the disease of me. I was more infected with me and my ego and what I had to do. So I didn't give him the time. And I'll close with a very poignant story about how I learned the value of that lesson. Our oldest is a girl, Karen. She's 43 now. Outstanding mom, outstanding spouse, 3 children. I was not there for her. 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. I was not there. I was out recruiting. I was out scouting. I was out at practice. Never was there. Never. I can't have that time back. But you know, God in His wisdom answers our prayers. In 2011, the Southern Conference, which we were in that conference, playing a championship Southern Conference tournament in Charlotte. It had never been held in Charlotte before. So it was supposed to be an advantage for us to play on our home court, Charlotte. We were excited. We had a great team. We lost in the second round. Did not get to the finals. The finals were March 11th, 2011. I watched it on ESPN TV, 9 p.m. at night. That's where I thought I was going to be. On ESPN, coaching the championship game. But remember, I neglected my daughter all those years. You know where God put me? He put me in Thomas Jefferson Hospital in Charlottesville, Virginia. You know what game was going on there? My daughter Karen and our husband Henry were delivering their first child, Maggie. I was in that hospital rather than being on the sideline. The power of our God is extraordinary. I guarantee you, if you go to Him and give Him your time and your love, and you as parents give your children your time and your love, and you as kids give your mom and dad your time and your love, we're going to change the world. And we're going to change it for the better. And I hope I get to see it in action this year. Thank you. So if you have to answer any questions you might have, if there are. As a captain, as a parent of a player who was a good player, as a grandparent of players who are good players, so when you're worried about that extra time on practice courts or extra time in the field, this is where the extra time is paid a dividend, right here. Anyways. Yes. Brought tears to my eyes, and tears in my youth, you can never. Tears are a gift from God. It means you have a heart. So thank you for giving me your heart. Thank you.